It's very appropriate that Ashley Banks teaches and coaches for the Kennedy Rockets.
I hold my students and my athletes to a high standard.
Her expectations for her students are sky high.
So I always tell my students, never settle for mediocre. I always strive to be the best at everything that you can be. So they get annoyed by me, but they understand my reasoning.
In her criminal justice classroom, she challenges her students to not just dream, but to accomplish.
So I won't allow them to be tired, because the whole purpose of having this class is to get your certification. And I expect all of my students to gain a certification on the very first attempt.
As one of the only women to coach a high school football team in Texas, Coach Banks has had to learn how to think differently.
Mere thought of Coach Hovey and then a few of the other coaches basically saying, you know what, Banks will make a really good coach.
Without lowering her standards.
And I looked at them and I said, you do know I don't know anything about football.
As she helps lead the freshman and junior varsity Rockets.
Because at first I felt like that I was going to have to prove myself to the players, the male players and the coaching staff, but honestly, everybody has been nothing but open arms.
So she made a promise this season to the young men she'd lead on the field.
I explained to them, I'm learning just as well as you are, so we'll learn this game together.
On the field or in the classroom, Banks wants students to know they are valued and respected, but also expected to give their all.
All it is just communication, getting students to see the greatness in life and to think for themselves.
Day in, day out, she says there is one reason she continues to choose Edgewood ISD.
It's the students. They start you off with respect, and you just have to, it's your job to maintain it and keep it, so that's what I strive for.
At E.T. Wren Middle School, students in Belinda Rasco's Algebra 1 class are learning math is more than just numbers.
I always tell my students that math is a universal language, and it's just what you need in every career that's chosen.
This is her first year with Edgewood, but it is her 21st year teaching. Choosing a career in the classroom wasn't always as simple as X plus Y.
I wanted to be everything.
But once she found teaching, she knew it was her calling.
It was revealed to me that that's where I should go, because that's where I was making an impact.
Her goal remains the same: help students see beyond the classroom.
When we get into quadratics, I talk to them about building bridges and roller coasters. I always tie everything I teach into real world applications, and I'll throw in careers. This is what you're going to do as an astronaut or as an engineer, or even if you go to trade school, you're still going to use these measurements here. I always apply to everyday careers and everyday real world applications.
She works to build relationships with students and their parents, involving everyone in the student's success.
And once the students know that I have their back, they tend to open up and understand. They're willing to want to work with me once I show them that I really care about them and contact parents and have parents come in and show them that math is not you have to be perfect all the time, that mistakes are accepted. It's just the process. And then throughout the process, that's when you learn to make those connections.
By building those relationships, she's helping 8th graders understand that if it's X times Y or X plus Y minus C divided by B, they can be their absolute best.
Realize the unique needs of this district, but to me, for me, that's where I feel like I'm needed most. I think with teaching, we shape our future, and to be recognized, I think it's just a way of knowing that we're doing something right.
Bianca Hernandez plays an important role in the lives of Edgewood students.
We are like the middlemen.
As a family liaison in the Family Engagement Department, she helps families overcome obstacles and connect with their child's school.
Well, our job is to make sure that that barrier is broken, that bond is built, and let them know that we can be that advocate for them. We can be that voice for them.
Now in her 10th year with Edgewood,
it's an honor and a privilege to be nominated.
Hernandez splits her time between Perales Elementary School, Winston Intermediate School, Gus Garcia University School, and Kennedy High School.
The kiddos I had at Perales, the 6 years I was there, I was able to go to Brentwood and go to Gus. And some of those I see, nowadays, but now when I get to high school, I'm able to see them as young adults. I'm able to see them as, lettermen. I'm able to see them as drill team captains. I'm able to see them as scholars.
She considers it a blessing to be able to help students of all ages.
Where a student can tell you, well, Miss, I don't see you as a teacher, I see you as family. That made my day. It made my year. I told her she was gonna mess up my makeup. But that was probably the highest privilege for me.
In addition to working on campuses, she also helps put on events, community meetings, and the annual school supply drive, all of which take a lot of work but bring one of the greatest rewards.
It's great to be able to see the families, to see the generations that are here in Edgewood.
While she cherishes the celebrations, she also finds validation in the hard conversations.
The world isn't perfect, and there's a lot of scariness out there. But what I can do is provide them the resources that they need. What I can do is point them in the right direction, letting them know that it is okay to step outside of their zip code, letting them know that their zip code, their neighborhood, their community doesn't define them.
Hernandez credits the Edgewood family for helping her learn what defines her.
They helped me learn to appreciate the things around me. They learned, sorry, I'm getting emotional. They gave me a purpose. 10 years later, I'm still here. I know what my why is, I know what my purpose is, and Edgewood is home.